Peoples, my peoples, this is crazy. Apparently, George Kambosos was offered the opportunity to fight Floyd Mayweather in Australia. Is Floyd Mayweather coming back? Is it possible? We got to talk about that. We have to talk about this. We've seen a lot of all time greats and legends come back years after retirement. We saw it with Roy Jones Jr., we saw it with George Foreman, and we've seen it with a lot of fighters. Could Floyd Mayweather be coming back? This is crazy. Now we have to understand Floyd Mayweather has a lot of money. He has generational wealth. So this is not the case where, he has to come back and try to make some money. He's broke. He got the money. So it looks like those competitive juices are flowing and he want to fight. Not an exhibition. Fight for real. R30, first on deck. What's the deal, my G? You already know what it is, man. I always appreciate you coming through showing love. Have you already heard about that? It's already all over the internet. Multiple sources confirmed that Floyd Mayweather or his team did reach out to George Kambosos. Now, we saw Kambosos win the other day. Could this actually set up a comeback for Floyd Mayweather after all these years? That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. I've been telling people, Floyd Mayweather was never going to come back. It's done. He's already did what he was going to do in the world of boxing as a professional. He's made a lot of money. He's making a lot of money outside of boxing, a lot of investments. Could Floyd Mayweather actually unretire? Tommy Dukes, what's the deal, brother? Could we actually see Floyd Mayweather come back and fight, not an exhibition fight, but as a professional where it's going to impact his record? Is he going to, end up 51-0? R30, crazy work. Floyd doing a Jordan return. Black Jesus, salute Jay Smith, salute my brother. If Floyd Mayweather comes back, it's going to be insane. I think that maybe Floyd, those, like I said, man, those competitive juices are flowing again and he wants to fight again. Because that's the one thing. Nothing that you do after you retire as an athlete is going to give you that same satisfaction. Nothing. So Floyd it's looking like he want to get in the ring again. Dry Turkey, what's up? What's up, my G? Bam, Oliver. Delonte West. What do you mean by that? So, when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, he's a polarizing figure. A lot of people love him. A lot of people hate him. But if he fights, everybody's going to tune in. Everybody will tune in. Chris Fontaine, top of the morning, my brother. What's the deal, my G? William P, good morning, chat. And the gals and the guys. What's up, William P? Appreciate you dropping in. So again, my peoples, what do you think, man? Money Mayweather may actually come back. Victor J, good morning. What's the deal, my G? Money Mayweather may actually be fighting not in an exhibition fight, a real fight. What do you guys think about that, man? I think that's insane, super unexpected. It's crazy that George Kambosos let the cat out the bag, let it be known that he was offered a fight with Floyd Mayweather. R30, that's good fight. Not sure who I take in that fight. William P, where's this coming from? This is actually coming from multiple sources, but George Kambosos himself was talking to the people at Cigar Talk, the YouTube channel, and he told them, because there was a misunderstanding. A lot of people thought that Kambosos was being offered the Floyd Schofield fight, and he confirmed that it was actually Floyd Mayweather that his team offered him. He didn't say exactly who, but he said that he was offered a fight with Floyd Mayweather in a big stadium in Australia. So they were really serious about, Floyd Mayweather making his comeback versus George Kambosos. So, it came from the horse's mouth, from George Kambosos himself. Hash bash, that's clickbait. I don't believe he said he's making good money doing what he's doing. I mean, I don't know why would you feel that way? It's definitely not clickbait. George Kambosos said it himself. It's clickbait if somebody else is saying, "Oh, I heard this or I heard that." It's from the horse's mouth, my guy. I know you like to contradict and always go against what's going on, but it came from George Kambosos' mouth, brother. Let the contradictions for when they apply. This is not when it applies. Far from clickbait. Kambosos said it himself, and multiple sources already confirmed it. Floyd Mayweather's apparently trying to make a comeback. And we've seen it before. We've seen, legends retire. Hash bash, he's lying. Don't believe him. I mean, I don't know why you think about this. George Kambosos is a boxer. Is somebody who's fought big stars, and you're calling him a liar. Now, what is your inclination to call him a liar? From watching TV, from watching social media? So, my bad, my brother, but I'm gonna believe George Kambosos over you. I got to. Come on now. That's crazy. Yo, that's insane that you calling him a liar. When there's multiple sources confirming what he said. People that he's not associated to, people that he's not paying money to. They're saying, yo, that this is facts. Floyd Mayweather trying to make a comeback. What's the deal, my G?
Yo, you a funny nigga, man. I didn't know you could fight, nigga. You could really fight.
But I never said that I can't fight. I said that, I'm trying to make weight and I'm trying to fight somebody in the same weight as me.
Nigga, I don't give a fuck wrong with nigga. You know how to box. You got a good jab. You know how to move. You know how to flip. Tú eres pendejo, nigga. Tú eres pendejo, nigga. You can fight.
No, I could put my hands out there, do a little something, something, but I'm 46 years old, bro.
Sweet, you impress me. When I see you fight, that what is it? Cause I pelear? The fuck out of here. You know how to move.
I got a little something.
Oh, shit, Jay. You can fight, nigga. I didn't know that shit. Yeah, you gotta do something. Yeah, you gotta do something. You can still fight pro right now. And do something to make you Republican thing at your age. ¿Por qué no?
No, I could. I actually was trying to get the rematch with that same opponent, but he wasn't having it for whatever reason.
Get a bunch of bacalaos, man. Easy fight, tuna, bacalao. Man, nigga, they bacalao compared to you. You know how to fight your age? You get a lot of opportunities. You can fight, nigga.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, I was trying to get that rematch going, and it just couldn't happen.
I'm telling you, like, I'm a fighter. I know when I see nigga, whoever with your mosquito. I don't know how much weight he got. You gotta chop the shit out of him. He ain't gonna touch you. They don't know how to fight in the street.
Oh
In
yeah,
the street,
oh yeah. When you come down here, we're gonna do that sparring and see how we looking, Pero es lo que yo te estoy diciendo. I'm 5'3", I'm 46 years old. Yo no voy a pelear con un chamaquito de 25 años. That's damn near 6 feet tall, bro.
muy tigre, nigga. Tú me dices, pero tú, cabrón, tú que eres uno viejo, no un joven a mí. Yo, Jay, you a funny motherfucker. Nigga, vete de reír. That was hard yesterday. And this motherfucker's funny. And it's true. Me coge un viejo a mí, no un joven, está loco.
Ya tú sabes.
There you are. Yo, find somebody for you to fight. I need you to look good. Find somebody you can fight. I pay them apart. Ahí vamos a estar contigo. Te das alto. Bring him with you.
Pues está bien. Let me see. I'm gonna try to find somebody así mismo que sea more or less around my age, my weight, so we can mix it up y darnos trompa los dos heavy.
No, but you can shine, but you're going against uno famoso y tenés su orgullo. He ain't gonna look bad, offend some hand. He's a DJ, famous DJ. So nobody wrecks, nobody then get fucked up, Bring somebody yourself, look out bien, and we go from there.
Pues está todo entonces. Está todo. I'll definitely be able to look for somebody.
Yeah, I got you on that. I'm gonna send some money soon. for promotion purposes. Then I pay for the fights, I bite it, bro. I'll save some money soon for promotion purposes about this. I don't know, video, whatever you can do for me.
Ah, potato, definitely, my G.
Alright, G. Alright, brother.
All right, peace out, fam. My peoples, it looks like y'all boy Jay Smith. We talking about Floyd Mayweather making his comeback. Y'all boy Jay Smith gonna be in an exhibition fight real soon. That's being worked out. That was Hector Camacho Jr. who's coming to Dominican Republic, and we gonna make something happen. Chris Fontaine, if Floyd do come back and fight, PBC really needs him to stay alive. I mean, that's something that was floated around, my guy, that this is more about PBC. You know, they drowned it right now. It's not looking good. They don't have a lot of events for the year. They don't have a lot of big names. So it's looking like Floyd Mayweather may come back to actually give PBC a hand, make something happen for them. Because you know, if Floyd Mayweather fight professionally, it's going to break the internet. It's going to break all boxing channels, all boxing media outlets. That's what they're going to be about, Floyd Mayweather. It's as simple as that. Plus, whatever arena they fight in, that shit is going to sell out. The pay-per-view numbers are going to be crazy. It's Floyd Mayweather. Yo, if Floyd come back, it's going to be insane. Hash Bass, Ryan Garcia said he was fighting Pac-Man. I mean, I don't know what Ryan Garcia got anything to do with George Kambosos saying that he was offered a fight. Like, why you coming out of left field with Ryan Garcia? That's Ryan Garcia. This is George Kambosos. R30, boy Jay Smith, have you been conditioning for your comeback? I mean, I try to stay in pretty good shape. You know, I run a lot, do some exercises. So, but I'm not in a boxing gym. So, y'all gonna see some videos with me, you know, hitting the bag, moving around. I got a little, check this out. Check this out, check out the jab, my people. I got a little son, but we're gonna see. It looks like I'm about to be fighting soon. A little exhibition and whatnot. Chris Fontaine. Then they going to say he fighting again because he broke. Nah. Listen. Floyd Mayweather got all types of money. All types of investments. His net worth is crazy right now. So without a shred of doubt, he's not fighting because he need the money. Maybe PBC need the money. You know, maybe PBC right now, they might be down bad. And he could be fighting to bring him afloat. But nah, Floyd don't need money, bro. Like, we'll know. You got to be like a serious hater to say, oh, nah, Floyd fighting for the money because he need the money. Floyd got money that he don't know what to do with it right now. Floyd money, he don't even know what to do with it. So I don't believe, you know, it's hard for me to see anyone even thinking that. The guy just invested millions and millions of dollars in New York City. That was recently. So with the type of investments he got, with the properties that he owns, with the clubs that he owns, being broke is not even an option or a possibility. This is what I see. Floyd Mayweather is someone who loves the attention. And he loves to be in the ring. He loves to be relevant. And when he's not fighting, people are simply not talking about him. And Floyd loves that attention. So I feel like he's just going to step in the ring to say, look, I'm still the guy. I'm still the most famous fighter. I'm still the guy people want to see. Because that's what, listen, that happens with a lot of star athletes. You know, they're used to getting all this attention and everybody watching them. And when they retire, even if they have a lot of money, but people don't pay you the same attention no more because you're not fighting. So you go to a fight and you watch everybody looking. When people go to a fight, who is everybody paying attention to? The two guys that are in the ring. Those are the guys getting their attention. And that type of attention, Floyd doesn't get it anymore. He's not getting that type of action. He wants it. We've seen, I'm telling you, we've seen it before. We've seen a lot of fighters make a comeback. You've seen it. R30. One thing you can count on, if Floyd come back, he'll be in good shape for sure. For sure. Even though he's, how old is Floyd right now? 46, 47? Yo, Floyd Mayweather still be in the gym, still be running, still be sparring. He gonna be in hella shape. That's for sure. Hash bash. You didn't read my whole comment because Ryan was lying and Kambosos is lying also. I mean, I don't know how you determine that Kambosos is lying because Ryan was lying. That shit doesn't even make no sense, bro. It don't make no sense at all. Like, well, Ryan was lying, so I guess Kambosos got to be lying too. That don't make no sense, bro. You don't make no sense. But I will say, your comments are gonna look crazy if Floyd is gonna make a comeback. You're gonna look goofy as hell. If Floyd come out and says, yo, I'm making a comeback, I'm gonna fight, you're gonna look goofy as hell. You're gonna be like, oh, well, what happened was. What you gonna say then? I'm telling you. Strike 3. You versus Mayweather. Who will win? Floyd Mayweather probably knocks me out in the first round. He's not a power puncher, but he's way above my skill level. So he's going to knock me out in the first round. Unless I go in a shell and I do a lot of running. If I could get my legs in enough shape to run a lot, I could survive for a few rounds. LLYY. My G, what up? What's the deal, my G? Appreciate you dropping in and tell me what you think about Floyd Mayweather potentially coming back versus George Kambosos. That would be crazy. Like I've been saying, that would break the internet. Every boxing media outlet is going to be talking about it. They're already talking about it. We're already talking about it. If you go to the different YouTube channels that do boxing, different Facebook pages, Instagrams, people already talking about it. LLYY, is it going to be pro or exhibition? Apparently, it's going to be a professional fight, not an exhibition. Not an exhibition. Strike 3R. I love it. Floyd is entertaining. It's not going to be an exhibition. And you know how I can tell you that it's not going to be an exhibition? Because they're talking about Floyd Mayweather coming out of retirement. If it was an exhibition, then he wouldn't be coming out of retirement. Willie Longshaft, hello champ. Hope you're well. Appreciate you, my G. You already know we doing what we do out here. What do you think about Floyd Mayweather potentially coming back versus George Kambosos? Go black. I don't think Floyd will come back to fight a real young bull. He will only do exhibitions. I mean, that's how I felt about it. That's what I've been saying. Floyd will never come back, will never fight professionally. There's no point. He's already done it all. He got nothing to prove. But it's looking like he's trying to come out of retirement. It's looking like he's already floating that idea around. And we've seen it. You got to remember, George Foreman was retired for like over 10 years when he decided to come back. Roy Jones Jr. was retired for a bunch of years when he decided to come back. A lot of fighters have done this. Sugar Ray Leonard was retired for a bunch of years. Macho Camacho was retired for a bunch. Like, there's a lot of people a lot of legends, great fighters who retired for a bunch of years and they came back. And we know that Floyd don't need the money. LOYY, I think Floyd is broke if he wants to ruin his career, his record for it. Nah, my brother Floyd, like, there's no way that he's broke. Like, that's not even a possibility right now. His money right now is crazy. His investments are crazy. Yo, listen, I'm going to put it to you like this. Just in his car collection, he got millions and millions of dollars. In his car collection alone. In his jewelry collection, he got millions of dollars. So he wouldn't have to. If Floyd Mayweather ran out of cash, yo, he could sell a few properties and he already got millions of dollars once again. Just selling a few of his watches, he got millions of dollars again. So he not broke. Trust me, my brother. Floyd Mayweather is definitely not broke. Willie Longshaft. Floyd bought loads of apartment blocks. He doing really well. That's facts. That was in New York City. Bought mad apartments. So money-wise, he not broke. What Floyd is hungry for is that action. Fighting again. Competing again. That happens to a lot of people. Yo, I'm 46 years old, bro, and I want to fight. I wish I could be fighting. because nothing feels like fighting, nothing feels like competing. So once you already live that, especially at Floyd Mayweather's level at the top for so many years, and he's been gone, he want to get a taste of that action once again. That's what it looks like. The Soto Hybrid 21, Floyd will cook Kambosos at 48. That's probably what will happen. But remember, Kambosos just won his fight recently. So that might set up for him versus Floyd Mayweather. Let's see. Let's see. Chris Fontaine. Smith, I told you they was going to say he broke. See, I know. There's going to be some people that might say that. But nah, man. Floyd, he definitely not broke. His money's crazy right now. The Soto Hybrid 21. Floyd got generational wealth. The people who say he's broke are delusional. He just bought a block in Manhattan. Yeah. Floyd, the type of money he got, nah, definitely not broke. Willie Longshaft, he spent $500 million on a property recently and went into business with a billionaire. They're spending $1.6 billion together in areas like New York and Chicago. Like, there is no conversation to be had about Floyd being broke. That's not even a conversation. I'm trying to tell you. LLYY. But we want to see Floyd versus Manny too. I mean, that could happen. Listen, if Floyd Mayweather come back, that could trigger Manny Pacquiao to say, you know what, I'm coming back to we got unfinished business. That could happen. That can happen. We have to wait and see. Hash Bash. All the fighters you named that make comeback needed the money, and Big George admitted to it. That's incorrect. Go check out Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. had mad money, had properties, owned farms, and still wanted to come back and came back and fought. So that's wrong. Gro Burgo, Tupac is back. Well, Gro Burgo, what do you mean Tupac is back? Are you comparing Floyd to Pac? Go Black. Floyd is in rare company with Rocky Marciano, being some of the only ones who never lost in their career. I can't see him hurting his legacy. I mean, I can't see him hurting his legacy, but I also can't see Kambosos beating him. So if he's going to come back versus Kambosos, I think he's just going to go to 51-0. LLYY. But let's get serious. Why would Floyd try to fight while he's rich? There's no reason at all. Look, my brother, that's what you're saying is logical. But I'll give you the reason. When you're an athlete at the highest level and you no longer compete, you miss that action, my brother. It's not even about the money. It's about the action that you get. It's about the attention that you get. It's about the adrenaline that you get. Right now, Floyd Mayweather, when it comes to boxing, he's a guy that used to box. But he's not relevant as an active fighter. He hasn't been relevant as an active fighter for a very long time. And he wants to fight. That's 100% believable. Willie Longshaft. George Foreman was making $1 million a month when the George Foreman lean machine came out. That's facts. George Foreman, millions of dollars. The Soto Hybrid 21. Floyd is a gym rat. It's all known. I doubt he'll do anything professionally. He'll do exhibition and pick up a quick bag. We shall see. We shall see, bro. I truly believe that Floyd Mayweather wants to come back. I truly believe it. Wants to make a real comeback. He's been doing exhibitions. He's been making a lot of quick bags. But those exhibitions will never get the attention that a real fight will. Floyd Mayweather loves his attention, my peoples. He loves it. And you're never going to get the same attention. I'll put it to you like this, man. If we be honest, I guarantee you, most of you have not seen the overwhelming majority of Floyd Mayweather's exhibition fights. You've seen the highlights. But most people, you can't honestly tell me, I know, you can't honestly look at me in my eyes and tell me, nah, yo, every Floyd Mayweather exhibition fight, I watched it, the whole fight. Because that would be a lie. That would be a damn lie. People not watching those exhibitions like that. They not. They really not. Floyd Mayweather making a bag because he's a superstar and they pay him a lot of money for those exhibitions. Millions of dollars. But you can't tell me, yo, I be watching the exhibitions from beginning to end. Nah. Most people would just watch the highlights. D Wheeler, Floyd should finally give my boy Keith Thurman his chance that he never got in his prime. Well, I believe that there's a reason why Floyd never fought Keith Thurman. You got to remember, Keith Thurman was dead, starting his prime in his early 20s, while Floyd Mayweather was at the tail end of his career, close to retirement. So I understand why he didn't fight Keith Thurman. That was reasonable. I think anytime a fighter is at the tail end of his career, about to call it quits, it's okay not to fight the young bull coming up. So I give him a pass for that one 100%. A Boogie 616, salute my guy. Floyd versus Crawford will be wow. What's the deal, my brother? Yeah, but that'll never happen. Floyd will never step in the ring versus Terrence Crawford. And it would even be unfair to ask him to do that. Willie Longshaft, Saudi Arabia throwing crazy money into boxing right now. That's a fact. That's a fact. Willie Longshaft, Floyd defense the best ever. That's also a fact. Damn, you over here to just drop facts, right? Arch 30, facts. I haven't seen a Floyd exhibition. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Most people are not watching Floyd Mayweather exhibition. I know true boxing fans that have told me, yo, Jay, I have not seen a single one of those exhibitions. Hardcore boxing fans. But an exhibition is exactly that. It's an exhibition. That doesn't count. It doesn't go on a record. It is not under a sanctioning body. So we don't really care for it. We don't really pay attention to him like that. But if Floyd Mayweather comes back for a real fight, it's going to break the internet. Hands down. Safe live. Tom Aspinall versus John Jones upcoming. We don't care about that, my brother. This is Box Center. We talking boxing, my G. If you got something boxing to say, we could talk about it. But this is not an MMA channel, my guy. LLYY. Crawford will bully Floyd right now. He will bully him. Definitely. He will bully him. But, like I said, it's not even fair to ask Floyd to come back and face, a pound-for-pound fighter who's still putting in that work. That wouldn't be fair. And especially, Terrence Crawford being somebody who's fighting at 154, champion at 154, about to move up, probably weighing around 170, 180 right now. Willie Longshot, Floyd will beat Spence right now. Now, honestly, I don't think Floyd Mayweather could beat Errol Spence. As a matter of fact, Floyd Mayweather and Errol Spence sparred. And I've heard from multiple sources that Errol Spence put all type of hands on Floyd. I'm going to put it to you like this. Floyd Mayweather versus Errol Spence, the sparring got so heated that when they finished, Floyd said something like, man, you a bitch. And Errol Spence was like, let's get in there and turn off the clock. And they went back to the sparring with no clock, no time, just till somebody quit. And guess what? Errol got that respect for Floyd. Because, that's a man in the PBC that he looked up to. But when they asked him, did you quit? He was like, I didn't quit. I'm going to just tell you that. I didn't quit. So basically, what he's saying in nice words is that he got in the ring, started sparring with Floyd. They turned off the clock, and Floyd Mayweather had to back down. They're like, you got it, big dog. And even Floyd Mayweather's on video admitting that Errol Spence gave him that good work. He didn't get into details. He followed the boxing gym protocol. They didn't get into the details, but he said he gave him some good work. So I could tell you, my peoples, in that sparring session, for Floyd Mayweather to say he gave me good work, Errol put hands on him. Errol put hands on him. So I don't think just because Errol got beat up by Bud Crawford, I don't think that Floyd's going to come out of retirement at 48 years old and he could just beat Errol Spence. I promise you, it wouldn't go down like that. Hashbash, Floyd also said, health is wealth, and fighting a young fighter is crazy. Even somebody on Kambosos' level in training camp would be tough. I mean, we got to see. We have to see how it plays out. There's no guarantees, no confirmation that Floyd Mayweather is going to come back for a real fight. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why it's being floated out there by multiple sources. Willie Longshaft, this channel going right to the top. Oh, I promise you, my guy. I promise you. We got to 1,000 subscribers the other day, headed for 2,000, but we're gonna be number one. Box Center is gonna be the number one boxing channel. Like this is the inevitable. There's no getting around it. John Parham, salute my brother. Bam. Orlando Bryson, yeah, not even same level. Demon Hunter, I bet your mother or father is. Oh man, you corny Demon Hunter. Go back to the trailer park or the basement of your mom's or something like that. Peace. Hash Bash, sorry to get off topic, but what you think about Crawford saying Spence doesn't deserve to go to the Hall of Fame? I mean, that's a tough call. You got to remember that they not only did they fight each other, but I think that Spence and his team did some things that make it reasonable for Crawford not to like them. You got to remember, number one, they made him wait for years for that fight. Number two, they made him stay inactive for a whole year waiting for the rematch. Spence could have pulled out of the rematch right away, but they hung on to it because they had that rematch clause. So Terence Crawford couldn't move on and fight somebody else because he was tied to that rematch clause. So they held him down, and at the last minute when the rematch clause was going to expire, Spence pulled out. Oh, no, we're not going to rematch, forget it. So they kept him inactive, kept him on ice for a minute. So I believe he has a legitimate reason to not like Errol. So I'm wondering if that's part of his judgment. Now, I would say Errol Spence, a 3-belt champion, and not just a 3-belt champion, he beat 3 champions to win those 3 belts. I think that right there has to put him in the conversation for the Hall of Fame. Plus the other opponents that he has beaten. It's hard for me to say if Errol's a Hall of Famer right now off the top of my head. Honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I have to review the resume and really consider it. But right now, I think that Errol's, maybe he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Maybe he's not first ballot, but I have to think about that. I cannot honestly just say that he's not a Hall of Famer. LLYY, Crawford said that just because of Spence's attitude, Spence is a crazy fighter, real talk. Yo, Errol Spence, he's done his thing. He's accomplished a lot. Willie Longshaft, Carl Froch in his prime versus Prime Kalazagi. Nah, Prime Kalazagi, bro. I don't know. Prime Kalazagi, to me, special fighter. He never really got his real flowers that he should have got, in my opinion. Orlando Bryson, Errol is a beast. Just wish he had a better resume, but he fought who was available. Not his fault. That's a fact. George Gaines, are you a southpaw? I saw you salute with the left hand. Nah, that's the camera, my brother. That's because of the camera. This is actually although you see it as your left, but this is my right. Never salute with your left. Never, ever. We don't do those. This is my right hand, my guy. John Parham, Trost, you will get tossed like Jeffrey on a Fresh Prince. Wrong channel. That's a fact. Quickly. Well, first you get cooked and then you get tossed. LLYY. What do you consider a fighter's prime? Is it age or certain record? That's a great question, my guy. And I'm going to tell you what's a fighter's prime. The first thing we need to understand is that every fighter's prime is not the same. It does not go by age. Some fighters enter their prime earlier than others. And some fighters also end their primes earlier than others. So in other words, a fighter could be 35, 36 years old and still performing at the highest level. So your prime is when you're able to perform at the highest level. So right now, even though Terence Crawford is 37, you could still say he's in his prime because the way that he's performing. And then there's fighters who they're washed up at 32, 33 years old. Now, what is it that extends a fighter's prime? Their physical health and their mental health. So the fighters that are able to extend their prime well into their 30s are those who stay in the gym, don't drink alcohol, don't get high, don't be partying all the time. Those who are constantly focused on keeping their body straight. Those guys are able to extend their health. The ones who are partying a lot and spending money and going out acting crazy, by 33, 34, they washed. Look at Adrian Broner. I would say Adrian Broner is washed. He only like 34 years old, but he's washed. So you could never look at a fighter's age to determine prime. You have to look at their mental and their physical health. If that's good, they can stretch that prime longer. Willie Longshaft, what's the best stadium in the world to fight in if you had a choice? Well, that's hard to say. That's really hard to say. I think that the best ones, it depends what you're talking about. Because if you're talking about money, the best stadium is in Texas. It's AT&T joint. Because that's the biggest. In the U.S. at least, right? But to me, if I could fight anywhere I want in front of a sold out crowd, I will fight in Madison Square Garden. Because when I step in Madison Square Garden, I know that I'm going to be fighting in the same ring that Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, all the greatest fighters, Mike Tyson, Tommy Hearns, all these great fighters fought at the Garden. So if I could fight anywhere, that's where it would be at. Sammy Chiba, also those who don't get hit a lot. That's a fact. That one slipped my mind. So Sammy Chiba, appreciate you dropping that one. Fighters who take a lot of punishment, their prime, it ends earlier. Because if you take a lot of punishment, eventually it's going to take a toll. Defensive fighters who are very good at slipping punches, they make it further. Why? Because they haven't taken a lot of damage. They haven't taken a bunch of concussions. So they're able to keep going. So that's definitely a factor. Appreciate you bringing that up. LLYY, you need to find it weird that Arthur Beterbiev started boxing at 11 and made his pro debut at 28. Not really. That's not weird at all because that's actually quite common with European fighters. See, the thing is, in the U.S., fighters turn pro young because there's a lot of money to be made. Like if you're a talent, if you're very talented, then you can turn pro young and make money, get signed to a deal and make some good money. But in most countries around the world, they keep them in the amateurs. They give them nice benefits, sometimes pay them money, buy them a house, buy them a car. They keep them in the amateurs so that they could run the amateur game, so that they could win gold medals in the Olympics, so that they could win in the international tournaments. And that's why you see a lot of Europeans turn pro late. That's actually normal. Hash Bass, Bernard Hopkins was a late bloomer into his prime. Well, Bernard Hopkins started boxing late. So that's another factor. If you start boxing late, that means that you were not taking damage for all these years. So Bernard Hopkins started late. Plus, he had very good defense. He didn't take a lot of damage until he started getting older. Orlando Bryson, Bernard was good because he was a workhorse. Motherfucker trained like no other. That's a fact. That's a fact. Bernard, also one of these guys who was amongst the elite as far as keeping his body in great condition. Not getting drunk, not getting high, not partying like crazy. Focusing on maintaining his tempo, his body. Orlando Brown, yeah, amateur league are much more respected in other countries. It's different. Amateur is different. R30, Cuba has fighters in Olympics in their 30s. Not just Cuba, my brother. All over Europe. All over Europe. You see fighters in their 30s regularly competing in the Olympics. Matter of fact, yo, the U.S. is one of the only countries that be having guys that be 19 and 20 going to the Olympics. That's why, think about this, my peoples. The U.S. hasn't dominated in the Olympics since the 90s and the 80s and before that. It's been years and years. Look, let me give you some insight. In the 2024 Olympics, the U.S. got 1 bronze medal in boxing. Dominican Republic, a third world country, got 2 bronze medals. This little ass country got more medals in the Olympics than the US. But that's why. Because these countries are developing amateur programs where they're keeping the amateurs on there and they developing them for that fighting style to score points and to win fights. While the US, as soon as they see that a guy's real talented, they turn pro. Boom. Yo, you man nice, turn pro. Like, I'll give you an example. Yo, Kermel Moulton, if he would have been in Europe, he wouldn't even been professional yet. At 19 years old, he would have been an amateur aiming to win the next Olympics and aiming to win a bunch of gold medals. But he's already a professional fighter because he's a special fighter. He's super talented. But in these other countries, they're not in a rush to turn professional. They trying to accomplish a lot as amateurs. That's why these guys turn pro and people be like, oh, he only got 10 fights and he's a champion. But you don't know, this guy had 300 fights as an amateur. These amateurs from around the world, they're basically like professionals fighting in the amateur ranks. They train with professionals. They train like professionals. They spar with elite level professionals. It's real. It's real. The amateur game is real all over the world. Arch 30. One reason the U.S. finally decided to send their pro NBA players to the Olympics, unlike U.S. boxing. They did send a professional, Duke Reagan, who got a silver medal. So he wasn't able to bring back the gold. Because that's another thing. Once you've been fighting as a professional for all these years, or even for a few years, the professional boxing game is different than the amateurs. So you could still be an elite level pro and go to the amateurs and get beat by an amateur. Because you're going to fight somebody that's around your same age, that got your same experience inside the ring. The difference is, though, he's been fighting in the amateur game. He's been working on amateur on scoring points. So you could still be beat. You could still be a pro and be beat by an amateur boxer who's also an elite level fighter. JJ Zendeja. U.S. sends guys with our team, man. Strength, yet some of them. Sammy Chiba. Didn't Loma have a long amateur career? Lomachenko is widely considered the best amateur boxer of all time because of how many gold medals he won, and his record was like 301 loss or 401 loss, something like that. He only lost one time in his entire amateur career, and he was able to avenge that loss. He beat that guy that beat him. John Parham, hit the like. Facts, my peoples. Hit that like button, man. Appreciate that. Asuma, do you know the upcoming Chinese boxer name? Something Wong? No, but I know that I'm about to block you out of here for that goofy ass shit you asking. Peace. Goofball. LLFF. LLYY. But keep in mind, if the U.S. want to take boxers to the Olympics, there's a lot of money they need to pay the boxers. There's a different contract between NBA and boxing. I mean, in reality, if you're taking boxers to the Olympics, you don't have to pay. Listen, even the professional boxers who compete in the Olympics, they don't get paid. They don't get paid, my brother. They actually, what the Olympic Committee does, not the Olympic Committee, the people in the U.S. and in the different amateur bodies, they cover their expenses. They cover your flight, they cover your stay over there, all that stuff, but they don't actually pay you. Olympic athletes don't get paid. John Parham, Willie football, basketball, and baseball, then boxing. Willie Longshaft, John Parham, is that American football? Just soccer is growing fast. Soccer is growing, but compared to football, it's still small. I would say it's still relatively small. But again, Olympic boxing is, the U.S. hasn't been at the top in a very long time, and they're not bringing home gold medals or multiple gold medals like they used to. Why? Because all these countries, they're developing their amateur programs differently. They're focusing on accomplishing in the amateurs. In the U.S., as soon as they identify, oh, this guy's really talented, he might go to one Olympics at 19 years old, get his ass kicked, and turn professional. That's just the way it goes. LLYY. So you're saying the Olympics is a way to show your talent and bring your name to the boxing world to turn pro? I, I mean, it just depends because every country doesn't have the same objective. Some countries, they don't even care for guys turning pro. They don't even care about that. They just want to win international tournaments, Olympics, and all that stuff. And then some countries like the U.S., they use the Olympics as a diving board to go into the professionals and make a name for yourself. Because if you look at Floyd Mayweather, even though he got a silver medal, but he was already a star when he turned pro. He was already sought after. Same with Oscar De La Hoya. He became the golden boy. A lot of people don't know that Oscar De La Hoya is the golden boy because he was the only guy to bring a gold medal in the Barcelona games. The entire U.S. team, he's the only gold medal. And that's when the golden boy was born. So as soon as he turned pro, he was the golden boy. He used that fame to catapult him to more fame as a professional. Willie Longshaft, how the American boxing fans with the fighters. John Parham, Olympics make a huge difference. That's a fact. If you look at a lot of great fighters, they was in the Olympics. If you look at George Foreman, Olympic gold medalist. Muhammad Ali, Olympic gold medalist. Joe Frazier, Olympic gold medalist. Evander Holyfield, Olympic gold medalist. Oscar De La Hoya, Olympic gold medalist. Floyd Mayweather, Olympic silver medalist. Shakur Stevenson, Olympic silver medalist. The Olympics matter because you're competing at the highest level of the amateur game. And if you show that pedigree, that type of success, you're going to be successful as a professional. Very few, Olympic gold medalists haven't had a good career as a professional. That can happen, and it has happened. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. But most people who win Olympic medals end up having a good professional career. Hash bash. As far as world boxing and soccer are the biggest sports. Soccer is the biggest sport, without a shred of doubt. We can say boxing, but soccer on a world scale is the biggest sport by a landslide. Or as they call it in Spanish, football. Willie Longshaft, who would be your dream promoter? If I was fighting, my dream promoter right now, active, would be Eddie Hearn. Definitely Eddie Hearn. John Parham. Willie, a lot of biased views. Arch 30. Real talk, I haven't watched Olympic boxing since Leonard. That's it. Because you have to understand this. The U.S. is taking guys to the Olympics that are not going to win, that are not even going to bring back a medal. Unfortunately, while young guys that could have won a gold medal or could have won a medal, they turn pro. Like, look at Kambosos. A guy like that is super talented. He's special. He's going to accomplish a lot as a professional. If he would have stayed as an amateur 4 more years at the 2028 Olympic, he would have been favored to bring back the gold. But he already turned pro. That's it. LLYY. Out of topic, do you think Crawford versus Canelo will sell a lot more than Floyd versus Manny? Because boxing is a lot more popular than in the last decade. It's going to be hard for them to outsell Floyd versus Manny. And the reason, I would say the main reason, is because when Floyd Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao, fire stick didn't even exist. There was no such thing as a fire stick. And it was a lot harder for you to steal the fights. So a lot of people paid for those fights because they could not steal them. So right now, it's very easy to stream a fight illegally. So I think because of that, it's going to be very tough to outdo those numbers. Willie Longshaft. I remember going Cuba. I went to a boxing gym. They're very old school and some crazy looking fighters. They old school with it. Even to this day, boxing gyms in Cuba look like they did in the 80s. They still believe in that rough, tough type of environment. John Parham. Hearns get a lot of hate. Willie Longshaft. I've met Eddie Hearn. He knows how to give good banter as a promoter. And I agree with you, John Parham. Well, Eddie Hearn is a hated promoter. I think a lot of the PBC fan base don't like him because, he had his little back and forth with Leonard Ellerby, and the PBC fan base, they're like the Tank fan base, very loyal to to the PBC and Al Heyman. So the moment Eddie Hearn started crashing with them, the fan base didn't like him. It just plays out that way. Sammy Chiba, yeah, back in the day, you had to buy it to get a friend's house or go to the bar. I'm telling you, a lot of people bought that fight because they didn't have a choice. They had to buy it. Willie Longshaft, I think John Fury has been a bad influence on Tyson Fury since his release from jail. I mean, that could be the case. That could be the case. But at the end of the day, Tyson Fury, a guy who's retired or near retirement at the tail end of his career, made a lot of money. So I think John Fury's influence is more going to be about Tyson's personal life or personal habits. But as far as a fighter, he didn't really have a negative impact. If anything, he helped him promote the fights. Hash Bass, you from New York, and we had cable box with the chip. I had that, my guy. And I had the updated one that had the little button in the back. So when the pay-per-view goes out, you hit the little button, and it comes back on. I had my joint. Always had my joint. But again, we're talking about in New York. That cable box that you're talking about, there's a bunch of states where they never see one in their whole life, my brother. There's people I told about that box, and they're like, yo, what the hell are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. LLYY. I don't think Eddie's a good promoter because he don't bring talent from the ground. He just keeps promoting boxers that already made it to make them more larger. I can't agree with you on that. Can't agree with you on that, and I'm going to tell you why. If you look at guys who signed with him early on, he made them bigger stars than what they were. You know why? Because if you look at AJ, for example, Anthony Joshua, nobody was really paying attention to him in the U.S. Anthony Joshua was a star in the U.K. Nobody was really paying attention to him in the U.S. So there's fighters who were famous in the U.K. who are now famous on the world scale because of Eddie Hearn. And you got to understand, my brother, to be a good promoter, you don't have to bring a guy from the ground up because promoters don't train nobody. They're not the trainers. They just promote. And let me tell you something. Eddie Hearn has signed a lot of Olympic medalists, my brother. So he will be bringing guys from the ground up. He signed a lot of elite level talent who just came off of the 2024 Olympics that are signed to Matchroom. So you're going to see guys who are really good and they're just not famous yet. You're going to see it. I promise you. Willie Longshaft. And you guys met Lil Don, the message fella in New York. The message fella, I'm not sure who that is. I'm not sure who that is, my bro. The massage fella, I'm not sure who that is. Sahil Preet, hello, sir. I have a question for you. What's your question, Sahil? Holla at me. Hash Bass. Boxing is mostly a family business, especially father and son. I agree with you. I agree. Although I believe that many times father should not be a trainer. Father should not be in the corner. There's a lot of different aspects of that business that the father could be a part of. Sometimes the father, they're not a very good trainer. They just happen to have a very talented son. Willie Longshaft. Joshua was going to jail. Boxing saved him. Eddie owns darts and the snooker as well. He a rich fella. Well, one thing that we do have to acknowledge, Eddie Hearn Eddie Hearn never been poor. His father is extremely, extremely wealthy. In fact, his father, I believe, is the guy who actually owned Matchroom and passed it down to Eddie Hearn, I think. R30, have you ever had to throw those hands recently in the streets in DR? No, my brother, not recently. Not recently. It's been a while. I had to let my hands go on somebody. Sammy Chiba, I feel like Haney dad ruins his public image. I mean, when it comes to Devin Haney's pops, there's two ways to look at it. Because his pops is a very good hype man. Because we also got to consider the fact that Devin Haney, he's very quiet. He doesn't talk too much. Not a very good trash talker. He has that personality where if you ask him questions or if you push him, he's gonna push back. But he don't have that personality to be out there, to be, trash talking, to be promoting himself. So his father does a good job of doing that. His father is the mouthpiece in that team. Sometimes he goes overboard with some of the stuff he says, but he's the mouthpiece. Like, that's part of his role. Willie Longshaft, what's everyone's favorite boxing knockout? Love more Hinduism. He promotes Devin, and he does a good job promoting Devin. He's taken him all the way to the top and made him a star. John Parham, no Bill equal to no Devin in a way. That's true, cause Devin is too quiet. He ain't gonna promote himself the way his father will. John Parham, ultimate shit talker. That's a fact. And the thing about Bill Haney is that he's keeping that same energy. Once he took on this persona where he's going to be the shit talker, he's going to be the mouthpiece, he's kept that same energy across the board. So, you got to respect that. Yeah, sometimes he says some crazy shit. He says outlandish shit. I remember he was saying that Devin is the new face of boxing. I'm like, man, what the fuck you talking about? But he's promoting his son. He promoted his son. LLYY. Willie, my favorite boxing knockout is Tyson versus Joe Frazier's son. That was a nasty knockout. Nasty knockout. I've seen a few, man. I've seen quite a few. Where it's hard for me to just say one off the top of my head. Sammy Chiba. It's almost like he should be fighting. I mean, he promoted his son. He's doing whatever it takes. Love more Hinduism. He 50-0 in the streets. Man, listen. Bill ain't fighting in those streets, man. He not fighting. He's a guy that was making a lot of money in the streets, doing what he had to do, but it was not fighting for sure. My people, listen. I'm about to get the hell out of here. Before I do, as always, I want to give a shout out to my boy John Parham, R30, Sammy Chiba, Love More Hinduism, everybody who always come through to show me love, check in. Y'all already know what it is. LLYY, appreciate you, my guy. Y'all already know, man. Box Center is going to be the #1 boxing live. No getting around that, my people. This is the inevitable. I'm going to see y'all tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Y'all already know it. This is Jay Smith, and this is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. My peoples, I appreciate every one of you. One love. Let me go get something to eat, man. I'm hungry as fuck right